Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here with your Survivor Series 2017 preview and predictions. And yes, I said I would get this up Thursday, and it's probably going up Thursday before 12 a.m. But I mean, shit. It took me a while to get here, and it took me a while to get here because recording gameplay for this goddamn pay-per-view was not the easiest thing, because when you have a 4-on-4 Survivor Series elimination matchup going on in WWE 2K18, things tend to go on for a while. And I mean a while. I'm wondering how many times Samoa Joe can kick out of Coast to Coast and Kinshasa's. I'm wondering how many times Braun Strowman can run in and break up the goddamn count. Yeah, it was that type of fucking 4-on-4, 5v5, or whatever the hell you can do in that game. But I'm still gonna play it as goddamn fucking long as it took. I'm still gonna play it. It went on for an hour. You ain't gonna see that full hour because this video ain't going over an hour. I ain't gonna sit here for an hour talking about this pay-per-view. I never go over an hour, but I mean, that shit was long. That shit was long and had the most anticlimactic ending ever. The ending was literally Shinsuke Nakamura getting counted out, and that was the final elimination in Raw 1. Bullshit. That's not the way things operate around here. But there you go. That happened. But you had AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar on your screen right now. So, I mean, I don't know, but that shit went forever, and it was frustrating, but we're here now, and we're talking the Survivor Series, talking everything regarding the Survivor Series in this video, the build to Survivor Series, the quality of Raw and Smackdown going into Survivor Series, the card, the matches, what I think is going to happen in those matches, what I think those matches are going to have effect on the future going past Survivor Series, because you got to remember that. And I mean, we're going to be talking it all, who I think is going to win, who I want to win. So things like that, we're going to see that all right here. Here today, we're going to be talking those big 5-on-5 elimination matches as well. I'm going to be doing an in-depth analysis, elimination by eliminations. I'll tell you the sole survivors, who I think the sole survivors are going to be, because that shit is way too unpredictable this year. Last year, I did a mock booking, right? And I did some crazy shit where you would set up the Shield versus the Club in that Survivor Series scenario, but clearly that didn't happen. But, I mean, I just sat through an hour of WWE 2K18 at its worst. Leave me be. But, Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you might find this lazy, nonchalant attitude here and the preview and predictions after dealing with the bullshit of WWE 2K18, but I can assure you, the rest of the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel is like a well-oiled machine, and that is clearly told, that story is clearly portrayed by the fact that you got Raw and Smackdown reviews each and every single week for over a year. We have had Raw and Smackdown's reviews up on Monday and Tuesday after those shows have gone off the air. Have not missed one, so make sure to go check out the Monday Night Raw and Smackdown reviews that went up this week for those respective shows. It was the go-home shows to this very Survivor Series pay-per-view that we're going to be talking about here. There's going to be a lot of content this week, preview and predictions, just to start off that Survivor Series content off. Tomorrow you're going to be getting more preview and predictions, but for NXT TakeOver War Games happening on Saturday. On Saturday you're going to be seeing your review to NXT TakeOver War Games behind the mic, where we're probably going to be talking about everything going into the Survivor Series review on Sunday after that show goes off the air. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to be talking about, and I sound like I'm going fast, but you got to go fast because I've been saying this all week, bro. But that is besides the point. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling News channel. That is on the point, so make sure to do that. And if you do like what you hear on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, when you do go and check out all that content, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Not only puts a big smile on my face, helps the channel grow as well, And listening to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel is probably going to put a smile on your face too. So make sure to click on that subscribe button, click on that like button. If you enjoy what you're hearing here, like these hip kids are saying these days, smash that like button. And of course, make sure to comment what you think. What are your predictions going into the Survivor Series this Sunday? Make sure to comment that in the comment section below, because your opinions are so heavily endeared here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So make sure to do all that good stuff. But for now, we got a big video ahead of us, so let's go straight into talking about the build for this pay-per-view. And let me tell you, we started off with the Survivor Series looking like one of the worst pay-per-views of the year. We really did. You had Kurt Angle come out the night after, what was it, the pay-per-view? What pay-per-view was it? I don't even remember at this point. What pay-per-view it was. The TLC, there you go. You see, all this shit blurs together. It really does. But TLC, night after TLC, Monday Night Raw, he comes out and announces this card for the Survivor Series. He announces 5-on-5 men and women's matches, alright, expected. And then he announces these champions versus champions matches. Jinder Mahal, the modern day failure Raw as we all know him, versus Brock Lesnar. I look at that and I facepalm, bro. You got Baron Corbin versus The Miz. I look at that and for some reason that's still on the card, and I fucking look at myself, sigh in regret, bro. You had Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. Are you kidding me with that one? And then you had a match I was actually looking forward to, the Usos versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Clearly, there were many things wrong with that equation. Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar being the number one prime suspect of bullshit in that equation. So we're going towards the Survivor Series, and we're expecting this to be one of the worst pay-per-views of the goddamn year, and all of a sudden, WWE starts to turn that around. And that all started on the Smackdown Live that we saw, where AJ Styles won the WWE Championship from Jinder Mahal, and all of a sudden, heads started turning. It became AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. It became a dream matchup. You had Alexa Bliss, or Natalya, I should say, lose the title to Charlotte just this Tuesday on Smackdown Live, and it became Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. Ooh. The decision I quite don't agree with too much, but it's still an interesting matchup. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, won the tag team championships from Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. They won the tag team championships, and all of a sudden, the Bar versus the Usos presented itself, and WWE brought this up, and they were very smart to. They were very smart to do this. They brought up last year in the 5-on-5 or 10-on-10 or whatever the hell you want to call it, tag team contest, right? The final two teams that it came down to were the Usos and the Bar. This year as well, it comes down to those two teams. It's very nice of WWE to bring that up, I believe, in a promo in the Usos. So we have that match presenting itself. For some reason, Baron Corbin versus The Miz is still on this pay-per-view. I don't understand that. Then WWE made the matchup of The Shield versus The New Day, which a lot of people are interested in. Not my cup of tea. But you can't deny it's going to be an interesting matchup. It's probably going to be a very good matchup as well. They took the men's Survivor Series matchup, and they made it into a must-see matchup. They put Jason Jordan in there with guys like Kurt Angle, who were on that team Raw, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and they replaced him with Triple H, and rightfully so. Team SmackDown, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Shane McMahon, John Cena, which whether you agree with him being in that matchup or not, for logical reasons, it's still a big name. And this became, because of all these big names like Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, Triple H, John Cena, Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles, because all those names are on this pay-per-view. This became, from being a show that nobody gave a crap about, to probably the most must-see pay-per-view, and at this point it can't be a bad pay-per-view, probably going to be one of the best WWE pay-per-views of the year. And that is a very, very interesting thing to look at, especially when you consider how WWE started the build for this pay-per-view. So you have to commend them. You do have to commend them for what they turned this pay-per-view around. They were able to turn this pay-per-view around from zero to absolute hero. That's what they were able to do, and you got to commend WWE for that. I'm excited. I can tell you that much. I'm excited going into this pay-per-view, and you got to believe, this is my reasoning for believing that WWE made all these changes. You got NXT TakeOver. NXT TakeOver on Saturday is presenting you with War Games. War Games. And WWE was going to go with Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar for the Survivor Series. How does Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar compare to War Games? You got to be thinking that inside that company, there weren't a couple heads saying, shit, War Games is looking better than Survivor Series. That's not good. Now, if you ask me, based on the storyline build, War Games still looks better than Survivor Series, because, I mean, holy shit, you ain't beating War Games. You ain't beating that NXT storytelling. So simplistic, but engaging at the same time. Just got to look at Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream to get a dose of that NXT storytelling. Absolutely magnificent storytelling with that feud. But, I mean, it's going to be an exciting weekend, to say the least. Now, there's a lot of things that really did not present itself as it could have. I mean, you had these invasions, Raw and SmackDown under siege. So SmackDown put Raw under siege to begin with, and Raw put SmackDown under siege just this past week on SmackDown Live. So, I mean, you had these under siege segments, and the SmackDown one was really, they were giving the short change because you were looking at it and saying, this is forced. Because realistically, before these 4 weeks of the Survivor Series, and I'm not going to forget to mention this, there are still a lot of illogical points that WWE has to go against them going into the Survivor Series. Before these 4 weeks that they presented themselves to build to the Survivor Series, there was literally zero tension between any brands going into Survivor Series. From Survivor Series last year to Survivor Series this year, WWE, before these 4 weeks, did nothing to build towards there being any jealousy between the Raw and SmackDown brands. Nothing. Nothing. And now you want to act like this is some huge overarching hatred. I want to kill you. Bobby Roode's on SmackDown. He wants to kill Finn Balor, who's on Raw. And that's the way you're perceiving it now. It wasn't like that 4 weeks ago. What changed? I still don't know. And that needs to be brought up. Now that people are looking at this magnificent card, right? They're saying, oh, this is going to be the best pay-per-view ever. WWE did everything right. And they're so quick to stroke the cock. But you still have to remember the foundation. And the foundation is cracked. It is cracked. And hopefully WWE learns their lesson, and this time around, they start building towards the Survivor Series. they start building tension between Raw and SmackDown a couple months earlier. But besides that, this is going to be a very, very exciting pay-per-view. WWE clearly put a lot of eggs in one basket, and hopefully this turns out to be an exciting night of WWE pay-per-view. I mean, how could it not be? Look at this card. AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar wants to wrestle, that can be a very, very good matchup. You got that 5-on-5 elimination matchup, which I'm sure will not disappoint. The women and their 5-on-5 elimination. If you book Asuka correctly in that matchup, you cannot go wrong right there. Then you got Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. That's looking to be a good match. The Bar versus the Usos, no doubt about it. That's going to be a barn burner. The Miz versus Baron Corbin. That one should be put on the pre-show, quite honestly, because I'm sure nobody gives a fuck about that. I know I don't. And that matchup will detract from the quality of this pay-per-view. But that's just what I'm thinking going into this pay-per-view. Hopefully you guys agree with me. Raw and SmackDown, bro. The quality of these shows. Raw has been alright. I mean, it's Monday Night Raw. It's 3 hours. It is a boring program. There have been shitty episodes of Raw. There's always shitty episodes of Raw. And that's not good. That's not something that should be accepted, and that's why I come on every week and complain about Monday Night Raw. But I mean, as far as the build, it's been decent. It has been decent. Stephanie McMahon being on Monday Night Raw and her return to Raw hasn't been pleasurable for me, and I've complained about that. Just go watch the Raw reviews. But I mean, as far as getting to Survivor Series, they did their job. They did their job. SmackDown, the 2-3 weeks Jinder Mahal was champion, garbage. The week AJ Styles won it, and this past week, good. Just goes to show you how a change of champion makes the show better. Anyways, I mean, Survivor Series, we're going to talk about all the matches one by one, and we're going to go into that, but tell me what you think of the build and the quality of Raw and SmackDown going into this pay-per-view. For now, we're going to go into the first matchup here, and that is... What matchup should we start? Let's start with the Usos versus the Bar. Let's start with the Usos versus the Bar. This is interesting. I really was not interested in this matchup. I was saying, shit, I would have loved to see Rollins and Ambrose versus the Usos. And you had that face versus heel dynamic. But considering when they reminded me what Sheamus and Cesaro and the Usos did in that ring last year, it kind of made me more excited for the matchup. And that's why WWE should practice bringing up long-term storylines, bro. I mean, you bring up long-term storylines, and if you remain sharp, some of the things I forgot from a year prior can possibly make me more excited and more invested in your program. And that's exactly what they did here. But when WWE was smart and they brought that up, they had the Usos bring that up in their promo, it made me more excited as a direct result. And I'm very interested to see who's going to win this matchup, to see how this matchup is going to play out. It's going to be a very good matchup. No doubt about it. I'm excited to see what these two teams are going to bring to the table here. Because they have a lot to bring. They really do. Usos have been absolutely amazing in their role. We all expected them to be great as heels, but they have just blown all expectations out of the water, no doubt about it. The Usos have had a killer year, a breakout year in 2017, and when I'm making my top 10 list of top 10 breakout stars of the year, Braun Strowman's going to be on that list. Neville is going to be on that list despite the situation he's in with the WWE now. And the Usos are most certainly going to be on that list because they have done great work this year. And that all culminates here at the Survivor Series when they go against the Bar. I would have preferred to see Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose because there's that face-heel dynamic. But I mean, this is still going to be a very good matchup. And I do think the Usos are going to win it. I do think the Usos are going to win it. Just for the simple fact that if you put this pay-per-view into perspective, Raw's probably going to win the 5-on-5 men's match. Raw is probably going to win the 5-on-5 women's match because Asuka. You have AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. Do you really expect AJ Styles to win that one? AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. That's going to Raw too. Shield versus New Day. Shield is going to win that one. I expect no other result. So that's 4 matches. 4 matches towards Raw. So I think SmackDown needs some matches to win at this pay-per-view, and the Usos can very easily win this one. It will do no harm to Sheamus and Cesaro. So I think the Usos are going to win this one, just for the simple fact that SmackDown needs to look good at this pay-per-view too, bro. So I'm saying Usos win here in a very, very good matchup. No doubt about it. We move on here to Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss. This is also what I expect to be a very good matchup. A lot of people have wanted to see this matchup, and I'm interested in seeing this matchup because realistically, you look at the women who have been most dominant on Monday Night Raw, the last 2 reigns of dominance on Raw, and Alexa Bliss is currently holding that reign of dominance until Asuka comes knocking on the door when the time is right. And Charlotte for a very long time held that position with her pay-per-view record and her feud with Sasha Banks and the Women's Revolution and blah-blah-blah and being the Queen of Raw, and now Alexa Bliss is the goddess. And, I mean, it's going to be a very exciting matchup. And we know both of these women can go in that ring. Some people think, and I've seen it in comment sections and Twitter threads and shit like that, that Alexa Bliss can't wrestle. Alexa Bliss could wrestle, bro. Alexa Bliss could wrestle. She's very good in that ring. Just look at the matchup she had with Sasha Banks at Great Balls of Fire. And as a matter of fact, the matchup she had with Sasha Banks at SummerSlam. Both very, very good matches. Alexa Bliss can go in that ring, and especially in there with the caliber superstar that is Charlotte, I think these 2 women are going to have a nice matchup for the Raw versus SmackDown supremacy. Now, again, due to the fact that SmackDown is not going to have a lot of wins in those bigger matches, I think Charlotte is going to win this matchup. Alexa Bliss really does not need to win this matchup. I mean, Charlotte just won the title on Tuesday. How's it going to look if Charlotte just came off a big title win on Tuesday, very emotional title win as well, in her hometown crowd and all that good stuff, and you're telling me that Charlotte is going to come off a title win just to lose? I don't think that's very nice. I don't think that's very cohesive at all. Alexa Bliss can take the loss. It really isn't going to affect her negatively. I say Charlotte takes this one. I think, again, this is going to be a very good matchup where it wouldn't have turned out to be if you would have had Natalya versus Alexa Bliss. Because now people have somebody to cheer and somebody to boo. Where before, if Natalya and Alexa Bliss are in there, you're going to be saying, shit, who do I cheer for here? Especially if you're a casual fan. If you're a hardcore fan, I think you would favor Alexa Bliss. But if you're casual, you're saying, who do I cheer here? I don't care for Natalya. Alexa Bliss is a bitch. So what do I do here? Now that Charlotte, and she's clearly a babyface, got a huge reaction on Tuesday from the hometown crowd. You cheer Charlotte, you boo Alexa. It's simple. It works. A match that doesn't work is the match we move on here to, Miz versus Baron Corbin. You look at this matchup, and immediately things don't fit. It's like you're doing a jigsaw puzzle, right? And you pick up this piece, and it has like tooth connectors, right? Meanwhile, the piece you're looking to fill has one little hole. So clearly, it does not work. It does not work. And WWE is like this crazy child that even though the pieces don't fit, he's going to grab a scissor and he's going to cut off that second connector and he's going to jam that piece in and make it fit. And that's exactly what they're doing with this matchup. That's exactly what they do with Roman Reigns. But now is not the time to throw jabs at Roman Reigns, bro. Anyways, so Miz versus Baron Corbin, this matchup, you can tell you don't even need to look at this matchup. You know these two are not going to gel in the ring. On top of that, both of them are stone cold heels, bro. The Miz, stone cold heel. Baron Corbin, stone cold heel. I mean, what are you going to do in this matchup? You're probably going to have Miz running away. Baron Corbin eventually catches him. Baron Corbin with methodical fucking offense. Miz, distraction by the Miztourage. Miz, methodical fucking offense. There's no point in this matchup where I see the pace picking up, where I see there being frantic reversals, false finishes that have me on my toes. Nothing that makes a good wrestling matchup is going to mix between The Miz versus Baron Corbin. And there's a point where you have to say, yeah, that's alright. I don't see these two in the ring together because they don't need to be in the ring together. Baron Corbin should be in the ring putting on good matches with the likes of Ty Dillinger, Sami Zayn if Sami Zayn was still a babyface, of course, Apollo Crews, guys like that. Those are guys Baron Corbin can feed off of, generate heel heat off of, if WWE wanted to book guys like Apollo Crews correctly, that is. And he can feed up the athleticism of Crews, pick the pace up to their pace. If you're in there with an AJ Styles, if Baron Corbin picks up to the pace of an AJ Styles and wrestles the match at a pace of an AJ Styles, that's going to be a very good matchup. So, I mean, Miz, he's the same thing. He's a heel. Heels work slow. That's the way you do it as a heel. So, both of these guys are going to be working slow. It's not going to fucking mix. And then you got the size difference. Corbin's like 6'7". Miz is like 6 feet. It just does not fucking fit. It does not fit. If anything, you should have had Ty Dillinger be the one to be kind of feuding with Corbin over these past weeks instead of Sin Cara. Where did Sin Cara come from? Off of television for months, and then he wants to come into a United States Championship match against Baron Corbin. He can all of a sudden hang with Baron Corbin. No, Ty Dillinger was in that triple threat match with Baron Corbin in the first place. Have Ty Dillinger be the one feuding with Corbin, take the title off Corbin, and then The Miz versus Dillinger is definitely a better match. Who wouldn't want to see The Miz versus Ty Dillinger? The Miz and Ty Dillinger would do fantastic. The 10 chants, Miz with the heel heat. They do have a history on Twitter. Yet WWE wants to build this feud off of Twitter. Are you kidding me? There's been no focus on this feud either. Each and every single Raw vs. Smackdown feud has had some type of attention, whether it's Alexa Bliss in a backstage segment talking shit about Charlotte or Natalya, whether it's Natalya on Twitter saying some bullshit about Alexa and talking shit about Alexa, calling her tiny, or Alexa, how she hit Charlotte with that right hand on the Raw Siege this past Tuesday. AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. AJ Styles taking jabs at Lesnar and how he's some puppet who never speaks. Heyman praising AJ Styles but saying he's not as good as Lesnar. You just can't be. You got, what's the other one? The Usos versus The Bar. Usos clearly cutting a promo on The Bar this Tuesday. There's been, like, no attention to it. A Miz TV segment where Miz is interviewing Kurt Angle or some shit. Because Miz is always interviewing people who have nothing to do with the storyline he is currently in for some goddamn reason. Interviewing Kurt Angle. And he just takes like a minute to talk about Baron Corbin. It's really bullshit. It is. Nobody cares. And most people don't even know this matchup is probably on the Survivor Series. Garbage. Garbage. Who wins this matchup? I mean, do you really see The Miz getting past Baron Corbin? No. Corbin wins the matchup. We move on to The New Day versus The Shield. The New Day versus The Shield. This is going to be a very good matchup, like I said. Not my cup of tea, and really not what I would have had The Shield doing. I would have had Roman in the Survivor Series matchup, And I would have kept Rollins and Ambrose on course to go against the Usos. It just made more sense to me. But I'm guessing WWE made the change because Roman Reigns, first of all, it's all for Roman because Roman, if you put him alone, he ain't going to be getting those thunderous reactions that he got on Raw. Only when he's alongside Ambrose and Rollins, though. Notice that. Notice that. If Reigns is alone, he's not going to be getting those thunderous reactions, right? And they want to make Roman look like he's some type of superhero. And then on top of that, it gets more people on the card. It does. I mean, if you took Rollins and Ambrose out, that immediately put the Bar on the card, and it gave them a tag team title reign. And that immediately put the space in for Triple H, or immediately, Jason Jordan, I should say. He was going to be put in, but now it's Triple H. So that made room for Triple H to go in there and make that 5-on-5 an even bigger matchup than it was before. So I guess you can say it got more people on the card, and it made the show more exciting because and then again it got the New Day on the card, who before would have had nothing to do. So there's that as well. So I mean, WWE really played their cards right as far as getting people on the card with that one. It was a good move as far as that went, and that's where I see WWE justifying that. But I mean, I would have rather had it the other way. It would have been better match-wise. At least if I knew beforehand that Triple H was going to be taking Roman's spot, which in that hand, like before when I was complaining about that, I thought that Jason Jordan was going to be taking the spot of Roman Reigns, and I was saying, what the fuck? But the New Day versus the Shield, this is going to be a very intriguing matchup. It's going to be very exciting. I mean, the Shield has been booked completely wrong, by the way. Holy shit, these guys have been booked too awfully. I mean, are you kidding me? Why? Just why? First of all, have the Shield reunite under these circumstances. I mean, there's nothing for them to fight for. There really isn't. If you were going to reunite the Shield, you should have reunited them for a proper reason. Maybe to fight off a dominating faction. No, they came back to fight off the Miztourage. How dominating is that? There's no threat there. Now they're just together for the sake of, well, we did this, we got to keep it together, I guess. And, I mean, you have these guys, their reunion, WWE, because they always have to give something away on the go-home show, their reunion, instead of saving it for Survivor Series and making it a big moment against the New Day, they put them against Sheamus and Cesaro and The Miz, devaluing the Intercontinental Championship, having Miz run away midway through the matchup like a goddamn pussy, and having Sheamus and Cesaro beat 1 week before their matchup at the Survivor Series. Really, really just, why are you booking these guys in this way? So wrong. Just save the reunion for Survivor Series. Shit. Anyways, this is going to be a very good matchup. Don't expect any less from the New Day and the Shield. They're going to put on the best matchup that they can, and I expect this to be very, very exciting stuff, and we're going to see a good match. As far as who wins, I think the Shield is going to win, and as far as what they go on to beyond this, I don't know, because there's nobody for them to fight. There's nobody for them to fight. And anyways, I don't even think Raw has a brand exclusive pay-per-view until February. I think they're going to go straight from Survivor Series to Royal Rumble, which I actually like that idea. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the Shield does, because realistically, there is no one for these guys to fight. There is no threat on Monday Night Raw. They were assembled for no reason, and now there's nothing for them to do. I'm surprised they were able to last this long. I'm surprised WWE thought of the New Day. I'm very, very surprised by that. But besides that, realistically, there's no reason for this to be happening. The New Day versus the Shield, I predict the Shield will win. We move on here. What should we move on here to? There's Enzo versus Kalisto, but you gotta pay me to talk about that. AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. Let's talk about AJ versus Barack. Now, this has a possibility to be a very, very good matchup. This really does. But it depends if Brock Lesnar wants to wrestle or not. If Brock Lesnar wants to wrestle, if Brock Lesnar wants to be Brock Lesnar, we can be seeing a match of the year. We really, really can. But are we going to? I doubt it. I doubt it. If Brock had a 9-minute match with Braun Strowman, if Brock had a 7-minute match with Samoa Joe, do you really think he's going to go more than 5 minutes in there with AJ Styles? No. No. Paul Heyman can come on Raw and tell you whatever he wants to tell you about AJ being good and great, and he's going to put up a fight against Brock Lesnar and blah-bitty and this and that. As soon as Brock Lesnar hits 1 F5, it's over for AJ Styles. Because if you're building Brock Lesnar up for Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar needs to look like a god. Therefore, when Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns consumes that god power, because that's what WWE is looking for, right? They want Roman Reigns to look the best he possibly can, and if Brock Lesnar's going to be the one to be beaten by Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar's got to look as good as he possibly can. It's simple mathematics, people, or at least in the brains of WWE, that makes sense. In my brain, nobody wants to see that fucking matchup, but, I mean, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You really can't do anything, because when Vince McMahon sets his mind on something, you ain't changing that mind. Especially the fact that this has been the plan since WrestleMania 33, and it's still the plan, so, I mean, it's pretty much going to happen at this point at WrestleMania 34, but they like to tell you that anything can happen in the WWE. But AJ Styles is going to lose to Brock Lesnar. The one thing that they can do, and I think they will do, is have Jinder Mahal interfere and cost AJ the matchup, so AJ doesn't look completely weak, and I think that should be the case. Have Jinder Mahal interfere, distract AJ Styles, allowing Lesnar to hit the F5. But I want to see a competitive matchup before that happens, because you know Brock Lesnar can wrestle. You've seen that matchup he had at WrestleMania 19 or whatever it was with Kurt Angle. That was amazing. And that was amazing. That was a great matchup. Brock Lesnar could still do that. You saw the matchup he had with CM Punk, a man the similar size of AJ Styles at SummerSlam at 2013. Why can't Brock Lesnar be that now? And I know it's not the same Brock Lesnar. I know. But it can be the same Brock Lesnar. And it should be the same Brock Lesnar. And considering that WWE has been doing everything else right, why can't they do this right too? So, I mean, shit. Would it be so hard for Brock Lesnar to work 5 extra minutes instead of going 5 minutes? Why can't he go 10, 15 minutes? I mean, it's all for the sake of a good fucking match, but all he's going to do is go 5 minutes with Goldberg at WrestleMania, right? He's going to squash AJ Styles, right? Oh, you gotta be kidding me with this one. In a perfect world, AJ Styles would win this matchup. Is he going to? No. No. Brock Lesnar's gonna win. And in the end, all this momentum from beating Goldberg and beating Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman and AJ Styles and probably Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble, it's all gonna be given to Roman Reigns. So, I mean, in the end, there's no point, right? But if Brock Lesnar wants to wrestle, this can be a very, very good matchup. And hopefully he does want to wrestle. And hopefully this will be a good matchup. But those are just hopes. Those are just wants. And WWE doesn't give a fuck what you hope. WWE doesn't give a fuck what you want. But hopefully we can see a good matchup. Again, I'm hoping. But we move on here. And what do we move on here? 5-on-5 women's matchup. Now, this can go very, very easily. This can go very, very smoothly. And you just got to do one thing. Smackdown is going to look very good in this matchup. Smackdown is going to eliminate all of the women on Monday Night Raw. You're going to have Bayley, Sasha, Alicia, and Nia refuse to tag in Asuka. They're going to be jealous of Asuka. Asuka's come in here, and now she thinks she's the best in our women's division. I'm not going to tag you. I'm not going to tag you. And that's going to lead Raw. Maybe they'll eliminate Carmella. Maybe they'll eliminate, who the fuck else? Tamina. But it's going to be Becky, Naomi, and Natalya left in that ring. And Sasha's going to be eliminated. Bayley's going to be eliminated. Nia, due to some double team, is going to be eliminated. And Alicia, very easily, is going to be eliminated. And it will leave only one. Asuka. Now Asuka, she's going to have to fight. She's going to have to scratch. She's going to have to claw. But this is fucking Asuka. This is the undefeated Empress of Tomorrow we're talking about here. She's going to eliminate Naomi. She's going to eliminate Natalya. And she's going to eliminate Becky. And hopefully those are all going to be nice one-on-one confrontations. And the crowd is going to go crazy. And they're going to be like, oh shit, this bitch is legit. Edge and Christian, who aren't high on Asuka, are going to be saying, oh shit, this bitch is legit. I just got it. And it will click. It will click. Asuka is a beast. And people will be all over Asuka. And Asuka will be your sole survivor. And she will carry your Raw Women's Division, who refused to tag her, to a victory. There you go. There you go. But knowing the WWE, none of that will happen. None of that will happen. Dana Brooke will come in, distract Asuka, and Carmella or Tamina or some shit is gonna roll up Asuka, and bye-bye Asuka undefeated streak. Knowing the WWE, that's what's gonna fucking happen, bro. You gotta be kidding me with that one. I sigh because that's probably what's gonna fucking happen. Shit. Make Asuka look strong, motherfuckers. People are gonna be complaining, how did Asuka eliminate 3 women? That's not realistic. That's not believable. Yet when Roman Reigns kicks out of 15 fucking finishers, you believe that, right? Gotta be kidding me with that one. Same people who say, oh, Roman Reigns is God, are gonna be the same people bitching and moaning that Asuka eliminated 3 women and it's not believable. Yeah, it's fucking believable. Asuka's a killer. She's ruthless. And she should be portrayed as such. She was in NXT. They did it correctly in NXT. What's so hard about doing it on the main roster? Oh, Asuka's fucking checking on Dana Brooke on Monday Night Raw. Are you fucking kidding me with that one, bro? Are you kidding me? Have Asuka eliminate 3 women. It's what should happen. And if WWE has a brain, they will have it happen. Book it, WWE. Asuka is a fucking killer. Portray her as such. Moving on here. Final matchup. Team Raw 5-on-5 Survivor Series matchup. This is going to be very exciting. First of all, the entrances for this shit are going to be like fucking 20 minutes. Holy shit. Listen to the long list of entrances you got for this one. Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode. Hopefully he does the long entrance, because that's going to be a spectacle to watch. Triple H, who has a long-ass motherfucking entrance, no doubt about it. Shinsuke Nakamura, long entrance. Finn Balor, probably the longest entrance in the WWE besides The Undertaker. Holy shit. And who's the other one? You got one more. Triple H, Nakamura, Roode, and Balor. Yeah, those were the 4. The 4 long-ass motherfucking entrances. They're going to be long, bro. Get ready. You're going to sit, eat your popcorn, and your popcorn's going to be done by the time the match starts. Holy shit. But it's going to be very exciting. The list of names you got in the matchup, bro. The list of fucking combustible elements. Triple H and Finn Balor, or Triple H and Finn Balor are on the same team. What am I talking about? Triple H and Nakamura, Triple H and Rude, Triple H and Orton, Triple H and McMahon, ooh, Angle and McMahon, Angle Nakamura, Angle Rude, ooh, Strowman Nakamura, Strowman Rude, Samoa Joe Nakamura, oh, reliving some NXT there, Balor Nakamura, reliving NXT, Balor Rude reliving NXT, I believe. Or no, Balor Rude never faced off. Balor Rude have never faced off. That's going to be interesting. Balor Cena. Ooh. A lot of interesting matchups present themselves, bro. And, I mean, a lot of people are going to be hard for a lot of those scenarios. I'll tell you that much. So, it's going to be very, very interesting to see all these guys step in the ring in dream match scenarios against each other. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun. Each time Samoa Joe steps in the ring with the new Raw guy or Smackdown guy, I'm just going to be like, ha 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 ha, Joe's going to kill you. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, but let's get down to business. What's going to happen during this match? First of all, this is going to be an absolute spectacle to watch. Last year's was just, whoa, it was an hour of just shit going down, bro. Back and forth. They did it well. Not like that shitty-ass gameplay that you're watching right now, where it's just garbage after garbage after garbage of slow, methodical, laggy 4-on-4 gameplay, because 2K18 sucks. Anyways, bro, let me stop the complaining here on that, but this is going to be cool. Hopefully WWE does do this correctly. There's a lot of shit that's going to go down here. You can have the possible appearance of Jason Jordan to screw over Kurt Angle. There's probably going to be something going on setting up Kurt Angle and Triple H at WrestleMania. What that is, I don't know. There's just there's unpredictability here, if you ask me. I think Team Raw is for sure going to win, because the stipulation is that if they lose, Stephanie McMahon will fire Kurt Angle, and I don't think Kurt Angle is going to be fired from the general manager position of Monday Night Raw, unless you're going to have Triple H takes over, which that makes just as much sense. Matter of fact, I think that might happen. But then again, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are not booked for Survivor Series, and I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to screw over Team Smackdown. I really, really do. So they're going to screw over Team Smackdown. I think that's going to lead to the elimination of Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is for sure going to be eliminated by Kurt Angle. There's no doubt about that. I think that's the only person who can eliminate Shane McMahon. Either Kurt Angle or Triple H. Those are the people who are going to eliminate Kurt Angle. As far as how far Samoa Joe and Finn Balor go, I'm not sure about that. Same thing with Nakamura and Rude. I'm not sure about that. I don't think they're going to be sole survivors. Strowman, his role in this matchup is going to be interesting as well. There's a lot of combustible enemies. I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to be going on in this matchup, because so much could happen. You set up for maybe a Jason Jordan heel turn. You set up for something to happen between Triple H and Kurt Angle. Maybe even Triple H and Shane McMahon. You set up for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to screw over Team SmackDown. You set up a lot of shit, and anything can happen. So that's the type of atmosphere WWE has given us. I mean, shit. I am sitting here not knowing what is going to happen here. And that excites me. Unpredictability is key. And that's what WWE has provided with this matchup. I think Team Raw is going to win. I do think Team Raw is going to win. Everybody is thinking Team Raw is going to win, but watch Team SmackDown. And I don't know. They won last year. I think Raw is going to get the win this year. I really do. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. I don't think Strowman's getting eliminated. We have sole survivors. If we have sole survivors for Team Raw, I think it's going to be Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle. Something like that. It's going to be Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle, or maybe Braun Strowman and Triple H, something like that, and then Triple H can brag to Kurt Angle that he didn't last all the way through, or some shit like that. I think Nakamura, I don't know how they're going to go about the Nakamura elimination. Nakamura really, at this point, shouldn't be pinned. Because if he is going into that AJ Styles situation at WrestleMania, there's just a lot of shit, bro. This is why I didn't want to go, because I don't want to say anything, and then it doesn't fucking happen, and I'm like, shit, I really wanted that to happen. So I'm not trying to think about it too much. I'm just trying to go into this matchup and see what the fuck is gonna happen, bro. I really am. But we're definitely gonna see coast to coast. We're definitely gonna be seeing Kinshasas. We're gonna be seeing shit all over the place. If somebody eliminates Samoa Joe, I think it's gonna be Shinsuke Nakamura. So it's gonna be interesting. It is going to be interesting. I say, here's the way I do it. Rude eliminates Balor. Rude eliminates Balor. Nakamura eliminates Joe. So I think that's the way it's going to... Or Joe eliminates Nakamura. Vice versa. Joe eliminates Nakamura. Rude eliminates Balor. And Rude could probably get eliminated by, like, Braun Strowman or some shit. I don't fucking know, bro. I really don't. All I know is Team Raw is going to win. Team Raw is going to win, and this is going to be a good fucking matchup. That's all I can tell you. That is all I can tell you. As far as survivors go, I'm saying Braun Strowman, because I don't see Braun Strowman getting pinned. I don't see a reason to pin Braun Strowman. Matter of fact, Kane, shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking. I'm thinking out loud. So I think Kane is going to show up, screw over Braun Strowman in some fucking capacity. So fuck Braun Strowman being a sole survivor. I think Kurt Angle and Triple H are going to be sole survivors. Matter of fact, yeah, go with that. Kurt Angle and Triple H are going to be your sole survivors. And Triple H is probably going to pedigree Kurt Angle or some shit like that. So, there you go. That's what I think is going to happen. Kurt Angle and Triple H are your sole survivors. Kurt Angle pedigrees Triple H. How do you eliminate John Cena, too? That's another thing. How do you eliminate John Cena? I don't fucking know. Matter of fact, I think Braun Strowman could eliminate John Cena just like that. But, I'm saying it's Kurt Angle and Triple H as your sole survivors. This is my lock. Kurt Angle and Triple H as your sole survivors, and Triple H pedigrees Kurt Angle up to the matchup. That leads to a WrestleMania matchup, because that's clearly the way WWE wants to go with that. Or maybe you have Kurt Angle and Triple H be the sole survivors. Jason Jordan comes out and turns on Kurt Angle and maybe aligns himself with Triple H as well. He becomes part of Triple H's little clique group that he has. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and now Jason Jordan. Seth Rollins won at one point. So, there you go. That's what I think is going to happen. Kurt Angle, Triple H, Jason Jordan, heel turn, maybe something of that capacity, but definitely something building towards Kurt Angle and Triple H at WrestleMania. Going to be a fantastic matchup just like last year. I have no doubts about that one. And it's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out. So please, ladies and gentlemen, maybe leave your more organized thoughts in the comments section below. Because that's what I think about this matchup going into the Survivor Series. So make sure to go check out all the other content. That is going to be your Survivor Series preview and predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed each and every single thing that you heard here on this Survivor Series preview and predictions. Because if you did, make sure to click on that subscribe button of the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to like if you enjoy what you're hearing here, and of course make sure to comment what you thought of all of this, as well as what you think is going to happen at the Survivor Series. So make sure to do all of that. Go check out all the other content: Raw reviews, Smackdown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, NXT TakeOver special reviews. You got preview and predictions for both of those coming up, and breaking news stories throughout the week, same as Behind the Mic Saturday, where we talk about all the news for the week on the wrestling world. So make sure to go check out all that other content. Twitter account of the same name, where we live to with Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, and all that good stuff. Make sure to stay tuned to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because for now, this has been Joel Perez, and for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow for your NXT TakeOver War Games preview and predictions.